Protest organisers had called this third Friday of demonstrations along the Gaza border the day of burning the Israeli flag. Demonstrators carried a mocked-up coffin bearing the pictures of Israeli soldiers whose bodies are believed to have been held in Gaza since the 2014 war. But at the centre of this protest, for a third week, were thousands of teenagers and young men, unarmed, prepared to approach the border fence, despite the all-too-obvious risks. Israeli soldiers had already killed more than 30 demonstrators and injured more than 1,000 with live fire in the first two protests. 16-year-old Ismail Salem understands the dangers all too well. He was shot and injured in the initial round of demonstrations against Donald Trump's declaration in December, recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital.
I want to send my message to the world that we have the right to live like other nations and other children. Living through wars should not be our destiny, while others live in peace and stability.
Protection, such as it was delivered in the form of tyres, burned to provide a screen from Israeli snipers. Since the last protest, Israeli troops have erected a secondary fence at this site, 300 meters inside Gazan territory. Protesters made repeated, sometimes successful attempts to drag sections of it away. Israeli soldiers responded with tear gas and live bullets.
Well, it's nearly 7 o'clock now, and still people are being taken towards the ambulances. Another injured man here with a gunshot wound to the lower leg. That has been the tactic throughout for the last 3 weeks. The Israeli military has been promising to continue to use live fire against these protesters. They've been making good on that threat throughout the day.
The Israeli army released video of what it said was an attempt to breach the border fence in southern Gaza. It said Molotov cocktails and IEDs, as well as rocks, had been thrown towards Israeli troops, accusing Gaza's ruling faction, Hamas, of using the protests as cover. It's a charge the organisers reject, pointing to the sheer number of unarmed demonstrators who've been shot since the protests began.
Is shoot to kill and shoot to maim, thinking that by doing that they are going to intimidate and terrorize people, but the people are quite determined to come to organize non-violent, peaceful protests in order to send a message to the whole world, to tell them there are UN resolution calling for our return.
The demonstrations are due to carry on until the middle of next month, when Israel celebrates its 70th anniversary and Palestinians mark 70 years of what they call Nakba, the catastrophe. Gaza's overstretched ambulance crews and hospital staff know that at least until then, this is how Fridays will be. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, Gaza.